Can an insurance company offer you less than your medical bills?
We make the whole world say, this is my song, this is my song.
I'm Bert True with the law firm True & Associates. It's always been popular for those who are at fault for harming others. Gets to take advantage of that. Want the taxpayer to foot the bill. Where does Medicare get its mark for tort reform? Oh yes, victim not even having enough money to cover her medical bill is what they call it. They're going to lowball you. They're going to consider you. Hi, I'm Bert True with the law firm True & Associates. So let's talk about tort reform. It's always been popular to criticize lawyers, but that's okay, we can take it. But tort reform goes farther than that. Tort reform advocates wanted to limit the ability to make claims and put caps on damages. And people bought into these arguments. Remember, they told you that insurance premiums would go down if tort reform laws were enacted. And they scared you with tales about runaway juries, rogue judges, and frivolous lawsuits. People bought it, and they elected congressmen that passed tort reform legislation. But what have we gotten from the tort reform legislation? Have insurance premiums come down? No. Have prices come down? No. Have corporate profits gone up? Oh yes. Have wealthy shareholders made off with millions? Yes. As the Old English judge Lord Blackburn said, tort law requires those responsible or those who are at fault for harming others to compensate the victims, usually in money. Typical harms can include loss of income while a person recovers, medical expenses, payment for pain, suffering, or even loss of a body part, or loss of future income. So now that we have tort reform in place, what has changed? One obvious thing that has changed is insurance companies no longer act in good faith to settle claims. They almost always try to take advantage of something called the collateral source rule. What that means is, if you have another insurance that pays your medical bills, in other words, you were smart and purchased health insurance, then the person that injured you gets to take advantage of that instead of you. And if your insurance is through the government, such as Medicare or Medicaid, then these auto insurance companies want the taxpayer to foot the bill for your medical expenses when their insured injures you. One elderly woman was in a car wreck. She was covered by Medicare, and she had large medical bills. The insurance company offered to settle her case for less than even her medical bills, making her go in the hole for the wreck caused by their driver. And what did they offer, to explain these actions? Well, Medicare will pay the bill. Where does Medicare get its money? The taxpayer. So basically, this insurance company convinced people to enact tort reform, and now they think that tort reform allows them to not pay the bills that they rightfully owe and foist those bills off on the taxpayer. And this woman is not even recovering anything for her pain and suffering, her inconvenience, and what she has had to go through since this very severe car wreck. Under tort reform, insurance companies win both ways. And that's why they lobbied your congresspeople so hard for tort reform. Oh yes, they report the drunk driver to the authorities, try to get him to lose his license, they raise his insurance rates, and they enter him into a super secret database called Clue. But then they turn around and offer the elderly victim not even enough money to cover her medical bills, and they think the taxpayer should pick up the tab for the rest. They don't offer anything for her pain, her suffering, her inconvenience, nothing for that. Is this what people thought they were going to end up with when they drank the tort reform Kool-Aid? Now, drunk driving victims cannot even recover their own medical bills. The insurance companies are banking on a well-known statistic that 80% of people will not hire a lawyer to make them pay out the maximum under the law for the person's claim. They know that 20% are going to get a lawyer, and they know they're going to have to pay more on those claims. But 80% of people are not going to hire a lawyer. 80% of people are just going to accept what the insurance company offers them, the pittance that the insurance company will toss at them to make them go away as a cost of doing business. 80% of people are going to take that, even if it's less than their medical bills. Now, after tort reform, it's even more important to get a lawyer involved in your case early. Because if you allow the insurance company adjuster to set the value of your claim based on not having a lawyer, then you're just going to get one of these little throwaway offers. Lowball is what they call it. They're going to lowball you. They're going to consider you one of the 80% that didn't get a lawyer. They're just going to toss you a small offer, and they're going to say, we're not concerned. What are you going to do? You ain't got a lawyer. You ain't going to file a lawsuit. You ain't going to do anything. You ain't going to make us pay. We got tort reform. So it's best to get a lawyer involved early so that the value of the claim is set according to the statistics for the 20% of people that do hire lawyers. Not only will a lawyer do all the work on the claim, you'll recover more money. You can let the do-it-yourselfers suffer the loss when it comes to being tossed in with the 80% of people that don't hire their own lawyers. You can let them recover less than their medical bills when the wreck wasn't even their fault and they were hit by a drunk driver. And you can do it that way, at least until the pendulum swings the other way, and people realize that they were sold a bill of goods when it comes to tort reform. I'm Bert True with True & Associates. You can follow me and like this video on YouTube, and you can follow me on Twitter at Bert True, and you can follow me on Google Plus at Bert True.